Hi children, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the second video of the video series Surds. In this video, we are going to discuss about product of surds. In this slide, we'll try to discuss about how to multiply a surd from a value without a root. That means this is not a multiplication between two surds number. A surd number is multiplied by just a figure without a root figure. We can use the same technique we have used with the multiplication of a algebraic term. For example, if you multiply 2 by a, your answer is 2a. If you multiply 5 by c, your answer is 5c. Like that, if you multiply square root of 5 by 2, your answer would be 2 root 5. Some students misunderstand this calculation as when you multiply 2 by root 5, they used to write it as root 2 into 5 and root 10. Remember that you cannot multiply a surd figure from a figure without any root. For example, if you multiply 6 by root 3, your answer is 6 root 3. It is not root 6 into 3 root 18. If you go ahead with, if you multiply root 2 by minus 5, your answer is minus 5 root 2. It's not root 2 into minus 5 root 10. Now we are going to multiply two surd terms. For example, if you multiply root 3 by root 5, simply you can multiply the terms inside the square root. Remember, this is only applicable if the two numbers you multiply are the surd answers. So if you multiply root 3 by root 5, your answer is root 3 into 5 root 50. For example, root 2 multiplied by root 7, answer is root 2 into 7 root 14. For example, root 5 into root 2 would be root 5 into 2 root 10. Hope you can understand how to multiply two surd numbers. Now let's try to make this question little bit advanced. If you multiply 2 root 3 by 6 root 5, now there are terms inside the square root and there are figures which is remain outside from the square root as well. If you happen to do such multiplication, you have to multiply the terms outside the square root separately and terms inside the square root separately. And you have to operate as 2 into 6. Those are the two digits which is outside the square root. And within the square root, you can write 3 into 5, the terms inside the square root mark. With that, you can write the answer as 2 into 6 is 12 and 3 into 5 is 15, that is 12 root 50. That's the final answer for this question. If you want to multiply 4 root 3 by 8 root 2, what are the terms outside the square root is 4 and 8, that is 4 into 8. The terms within the square root would be 3 and 2. Therefore, you can multiply 3 into 2 within the square root. With that, you can write 32 root 6. If you want to multiply minus 5 root 2 with 6 root 3, how it is supposed to do? Multiply the terms outside the square root separately and terms inside the square root separately. Minus 5 into 6, the terms outside the square root. And 2 into 3 within the square root. With that you can write minus 30 root 6, where minus 5 into 6 is minus 30 and 2 into 3 is 6. Then if you want to simplify, minus 6 root 7 into minus 3 root 5. The terms outside the square root, minus 6 into minus 3 and 7 into 5. The terms within the square root. With that you will obtain the answer as 18 root 35. There is another operation we have to be little bit vigilant. What do you mean by this 12 root 50? That means 12 into root 50. 32 root 6 is 32 into root 6. Minus 30 root 6 means this is minus 30 into root 6. 18 root 35 means 18 into root 35. There is a multiplication between these terms, but it's invisible because when you're writing this expression, we use the same technique we are used with the algebraic simplifications. Now we are going to do the next level of these questions. If you happen to multiply 5 root 6 by 3 root 3, as we mentioned in the previous slides, we can multiply 5 into 3, which is outside from the square root, and 6 into 3, which is inside the square root. With that you can write 5 into 3 is 15, and within the square root 18, that is 15 root 18. I mentioned in the previous video, that means if you get a large number within the square root, see whether can you do much simplification. Yes. If you get root 18, you know that 18 is 2 into 3 into 3. That means root 18 is root 2 into 3 into 3. Therefore 3 into 3 is a couple, so you can take that 3 out. And it turn up into 3 root 2. If you are not familiar of this simplification, you can refer to the first video. I will put the link in the description box, as well as it will pop up as a suggestion video at the top corner of this video. With that you can write 15 root 18 as 15 into 3 root 2. How do I get this 3 root 2? That is root 18, you can write it as 3 root 2. So I told in the previous slide, 15 root 18 means 15 into root 18. That means 15 into 3 root 2. So you can multiply 15 with 3 and you can write it as 45 root 2. Let's try to verify from the second example. We need to multiply 5 root 10 with 4 root 15. Then the basic principle, we can multiply 5 with 4. 5 into 4. Then 10 into 15 within the square root term. So you can write 5 into 4 is 20. Within the square root 150. Now see whether 150 is a figure where you can simplify further. Yes. We can write 150 as 2 into 3 into 5 into 5. Therefore, we can write square root of 150 as 2 into 3 into 5 into 5. With that you can take 5 into 5 the couple out, and you can write it as 5 times of square root 2 into 3, that is 5 root 6. With that you can write 20 root 150 is 20 into 5 root 6. Whereas 20 into 5 is 100 and turn up into 100 root 6. Okay children, now let's try to use the theories what we have learned to remove these brackets. Our question is to simplify 2 plus root 5 into 3 plus root 5. Initially I will multiply the second bracket 3 root 5 with the first digit, that is 2. That is 2 into 3 plus root 5. And then I will multiply again the 3 root 5 with root 5, the second term of the first bracket. That's the same way what we have used with the algebraic removing brackets. So with that, if you multiply 2 with 3 root 5, answer is 2 into 3 is 6. 2 into root 5 is 2 root 5. Hopefully you can understand. Then if you multiply root 5 with 3, that is 3 root 5. Don't misunderstand, this is not 3 root 15, this is 3 root 5. Then root 5 into root 5, they both of them are surd terms, so you can multiply the terms inside the square root, that turn up to 5 into 5, 25. Then 6, and we know that the last term root 25 is how much? Square root of 25 is 5, so it will turn up to a full integer. So it will turn up to 6 plus 5. Then you can add 2 root 5 and 3 root 5 separately, and you can write it as 5 root 5. Therefore, your final answer is 6 plus 5. 6 is the first digit. 5 is the square root of 25. From there only you get that 5. It's 11 plus 5 root 5. The second example. We have to remove the brackets and simplify 3 minus root 2 into 4 plus root 2. So I will multiply the second bracket 4 plus root 2 by the first integer of the first bracket, that is 3. Then again same bracket 4 root 2 by the second value, the third term, minus root 2. So if you multiply 4 root 2 by 3, 3 into 4 is 12, 3 into root 2 is 3 root 2, minus root 2 into 4 is minus 4 root 2, minus root 2 into root 2 is minus root 4. Root 4 is 2. Therefore, you can simplify as 12 minus 2. The answer is 12 and minus root 4 is minus 2. With that, you can write 12 minus 2. Then you can simplify 3 root 2 minus 4 root 2. That turn up into minus 1 root 2. Usually write it as minus root 2. Therefore, your final answer would be 10 minus root 2. In this example, we need to simplify 3 minus root 5 into 4 plus root 2. We have to remove the brackets and simplify further. Then I'll multiply the second bracket 4 plus root 2 with 3 first. Then 4 plus root 2 with minus root 5. Then we can write the answer 3 into 4 is second step 12. 3 into root 2 is 3 root 2. Minus root 5 into 4 is minus 4 root 5. Minus root 5 into root 2 is minus root 10. How do you get root 10? That is 5 into 2. You can multiply the terms inside the square root separately. With that, you can see there are no other simplified versions because any of the facts are not simplified and there are no similar surd terms to be added. Therefore, you can write the final answer as 12 plus 3 root 2 minus 4 root 5 minus root 10. If you come up with the next example, we need to expand the brackets 3 minus 2 root 5 with 4 plus 3 root 2 and simplify further. With that, if you multiply the second bracket 4 plus 3 root 2 by 3 minus 2 root 5 into 4 plus 3 root 2. So when you multiply, let's see, 3 into 4 is 12. Then 3 into 3 root 2, how do you get it? You can multiply the terms outside the brackets or outside the surds only. The reason is that you can multiply only 3 into 3 and you can write it as 9 root 2. Then if you multiply minus root 2 root 5 with 4, you can multiply only 4 with 2 because the terms outside the square root only you can multiply. The terms inside the square root should be multiplied with another term which is already inside the square root only. So it will turn up into minus 2 root 5 into 4 is minus 8 root 5. When you multiply minus 2 root 5 with 3 root 2, you can multiply 3 minus 2 into 3 is minus 6. Inside the square root, root 5 into root 2 is root 10. Again, you cannot see any simplification further because none of the third terms are similar. If you are not familiar with this section, as I mentioned, please refer to the first video. There you can get a clear idea how do we have to simplify this kind of third additions or subtractions. Here children, we need to expand the brackets 3 minus 2 root 5 with 4 plus 6 root 5. Again, I will multiply the second bracket 4 plus 6 root 5 with the first digit in the first bracket is 3 and then multiply again 4 plus 6 root 5 with minus 2 root 5. If you multiply 3 with 4, answer is 12. 3 with 6 root 5 is 18 root 5. Remember again you can multiply only terms outside the square root with the term which is outside the square root only. And minus 2 root 5 into 4 is minus 8 root 5. 8 came by minus 2 into 4. Then minus 2 root 5 into 6 root 5 is you can multiply 2 with minus 2 with 6 is minus 12. Root 5 into root 5 is root 25. Then we can say 12 and you know that square root of 25 is 5. Therefore minus 12 root 25 you can write minus 12 into 5 minus 60. Then you can add 12 to minus 60. Then 18 root 5 you can add with minus 8 root 5. 18 minus 8 is 10. That should be 10 root 5. Then if you come up with the next example, there you have to remove the brackets 5 minus 2 root 3 to 4 minus 6 root 3 and to simplify further. Again, if you multiply 4 minus 6 root 3 with 5 minus 2 root 3 with again 4 minus 6 root 3, just removing the brackets, right? Then if you multiply with 5 with 4, that is 20. 5 with minus 6 root 3 is minus 30 root 3. Then you can multiply with 4 minus 6 root 3 with minus 2 root 3. Then minus 2 root 3 into 4 is minus 8 root 3. Minus 2 root 3 into minus 6 root 3, you can multiply minus 2 with minus 6. You can write plus 12 root 3 into root 3 is root 9. Then you can obtain the answer with the last term in this expression, 12 root 9. We know the root 9 is how much? Root 9 is 3. Therefore 12 into 3 turn up into 36. Then we can add 12 with 36, that turn up into 48, minus 30 root 3 with minus 8 root 3 is minus 38 root 3. Therefore, you can write the final answer as 48 minus 38 root 3. Hopefully you have understood the contents in this video. If you like this video, put a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. To see more educational videos, please subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon. See you from next videos.